come in. Hello.
Hi.
Hi, how are you today?
I'm doing good.
Okay, please take a seat. Okay, so Miss Angelica Guzman, correct?
Angelica.
Angelica, okay. Alright, so my name is Leslie Medrano, and I am a case manager here at Tropical, and today I will be working with you. So, what we're going to do today is we're going to conduct an intake interview, and basically what this is just a small interview for me to get to know you a little bit better and for me to, like jot down some notes for this whole process. Okay, so before we get started, I have a form. Okay, so we have this form that is informed consent form and confidentiality. So basically what this form says is that everything that you say today will stay between you and I, that I cannot disclose any of this information. There are a couple of restrictions though. If you do say anything regarding harming yourself or others, I am required to tell the respective authorities about that. But besides that, everything said here will stay between you and I. And of course, this is also you giving me consent to go ahead and hear you out today.
Okay.
So if you have any questions, or if you don't have any questions, then if you would please initial here and sign in the back. But if you do have any questions, feel free to ask me.
Okay.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, so one other topic I want to cover before we get started. So regarding all of these fees, I do have noted here that you do have Medicaid, so you don't have to worry about any of these fees that will come up sometime or another. So for right now, we're okay and we're ready to get started. So to begin, I'm going to ask a little bit about your demographics, such as your name, date of birth, and age. So throughout this interview, I am going to be writing down notes, but if that makes you uncomfortable or anything that I say makes you uncomfortable, please feel free to let me know. That way we can address the issue.
Okay.
So first off, can I have your full name, please?
Angelica Guzman.
Angelica Guzman. Okay. And can I have your age?
I'm 35 years old.
Okay. And your date of birth?
March 27th, 1983.
Okay. Alright, that's just to confirm that I am speaking to the correct person.
Okay.
Okay, and if you don't mind me asking, what is your ethnicity?
I identify as Hispanic.
Okay. Alright, so now let's get started. So, can you tell me a little bit about your disability?
Well, I was diagnosed with bipolar disorder at the age of 18. It's basically just where, like, it's also called manic depression. Like, the manic part is, like, I have really elevated energies and stuff, and then the depressive is, like, depression, you know?
Right.
Sometimes I'll have a lot of energy, but, like, it's not always good energy. Like, I'll get angry quicker, I'll be angry all the time, you know? And then my depressive state is like a lot of staying at home, not wanting to do anything, kind of just being away from the world, you know?
Okay, and so what were some of the symptoms that you knew that something was wrong?
Well, the thing is, I was diagnosed with bipolar at the age of 18, bipolar disorder at the age of 18, but at the age of 16, I was actually first misdiagnosed with depression.
Okay.
Because that is like when I first started to like really show symptoms. I was at like this point in my life where like before that I was really into sports and like hanging out with friends and doing a whole bunch of activities, and then I just slowly started to lose interest in all of them. I would stay home all day on the weekends, kind of just like sleeping or not really doing anything. I quit all the sports that I was in just because I didn't what was the point, you know?
Right.
In my head, I was just thinking, like, what's the point of all this? So that's when it really first started.
Okay. Okay, so what is your marital status at the moment?
I am divorced. I was divorced 3 years ago. We have 2 kids, a girl, she's 9, and a little boy, he's 7.
Okay, and if you don't mind me asking, what was the reason for the divorce?
We've just been fighting a lot, miscommunicating, and that's basically what happened.
Okay, so you did mention that you have 2 children. What is your relationship with your children?
I try to be a part of their lives as much as possible, but you know, sometimes with like my disorder, like I kind of, I don't, it's never really that bad, but you know, I do sometimes kind of like get depressed, don't really want to do anything, or I get angry and I try really hard not to take it out on them, but I want to say it's good, or at least we're trying to work it out.
Going off on medical history, do you have any serious injuries?
Actually, like around the time of my diagnosis, like shortly after my bipolar diagnosis, I started self-harming. I was like, what the heck is going on, you know, like, what is this, like, what is wrong with me? I didn't know what was happening. I was just kind of trying at that point to get, like, some kind of control of my life, and so I thought, like, oh, you know what, I can control hurting myself, how much pain I give myself, you know, so, that.
Okay, and if you don't mind me asking, where would you do these things on?
Anywhere that wasn't visible.
Okay.
You know, I didn't want to have anyone asking me or questioning me about it, because it wasn't for attention, it was for control.
Right. Okay, and do you have any history on substance use or abuse?
No.
No? Okay. Alright, so have you previously ever been hospitalized?
No.
No?
No. Maybe, like, when I first got diagnosed with depression, because of how bad it was, like, I guess my parents were worried that I would, you know, try to do something, but, that was only, like, a week long. It wasn't even, I didn't try to do anything, so, like, I wouldn't really, it was just a week, but I was constantly going to a doctor's office just so they could check up on me, you know?
Okay. Now that you mentioned that, how often do you visit your doctor?
I try to go at least twice a month.
Okay.
To my psychiatrist, you know?
Right.
Like, not my doctor.
Okay.
That one's like once every 3 months.
Okay. And are you on any medication at the moment?
Lithium, which is like a mood stabilizing drug.
Okay.
I feel like it does really help me.
And what are the symptoms that it kind of like, you know, like soothes, or like, why do you like?
It's just kind of like a mood stabilizing drug for me. Like, it just makes sure that, like, if I start having like episodes, that they're not that bad, you know?
Right.
Like my depression, it's like, oh, she's just a little sad, not, you know, depressed. Or like, no, she's just a little too energetic. Now, like, it stabilizes my mood, basically.
Okay. Okay, and now, going off on educational history, so did you graduate from high school?
Yeah, I actually also went to college.
Okay.
I work at a dental, like not really a dental assistant, but like as a secretary.
Okay.
At a dental office.
How long have you been working there?
I've been working there for 7 years.
7 years. Okay, and so what is your experience working there like?
I mean, it was really good. Like, I thought I had a lot of fun there, but recently one of the lady bosses left, and I don't have a really good relationship with males in my life.
Okay.
So, like, there's been a lot of male energy, if that makes any sense, and I've just been really uncomfortable lately.
Okay.
Like, that's also, like, a reason why I'm here. Like, I don't don't really know how to be around this many men, you know? So, like, because of, like, my previous history, like, I don't feel comfortable around them. I feel anxious, I feel like something bad's gonna happen, and, like, I know nothing has happened, because of that, I feel like I'm kind of, like, losing control again, if that makes sense.
Okay, and so you did mention previous, is there something that happened?
It's not really something I'd want to discuss
Okay.
right now.
Okay, no, that's perfectly fine. Okay, so as of right now, you just don't feel comfortable in the setting that you're in.
Yeah.
Okay, and you said you've been working there for 7 years.
Mhm.
So how recently did this start happening?
Well, okay, so after I separated from my husband, I felt like the men there were like, oh, she's single, you know, like let me try to get her attention or whatever. And then after one of the main dentists there, which was a woman, left, I feel like they kind of just, and that happened like about 6 months ago, they've kind of just been even more like, hey, you know?
Okay.
It doesn't make me comfortable, you know?
Right. Okay. Okay, well, thank you for sharing that with me. I know that can be very sensitive. Okay, so to close off this meeting, so the services that you're seeking today are basically in regards to how you feel at your current place of employment, correct?
Yes, I just kind of want like counseling, basically, like just kind of reassuring me that, you know, like everything's gonna be okay. I just need reassurance, basically. Right. I just need to talk through these issues, you know, talk through like what I'm going through, you know, as it happens.
Right, okay. Okay, so I just want to thank you so much for coming in today and sharing all this information with me, because I know that it can be very difficult to do so. So, I can't guarantee anything right now, but from everything that went through, everything looks good. You should be expecting a call from Tropical Texas within a week or two, and we'll let you know the status of either you are being admitted or not.
Okay.
So again, I just want to say thank you, and finally, I want to give you this pamphlet right here. This has a lot of good information. So it can answer a bunch of your questions if you have any. So you can go ahead and take this with you. You can go ahead and read it on your free time, or basically anytime that you want. And of course, if you have any questions in general, you can go ahead and let me know, and I'll be happy to answer them. So if you don't have any questions right now, then we are good to go.
Awesome, thank you.
So do you have anything that you would like to say, or no?
No, I think I'm good.
All right. Okay, well, thank you so much for meeting with me, and I hope you have a very nice day.
Thank you.